What's up, everybody? How y'all's day went? And if your day just getting started, I hope it's getting off to a great start.
What's up? What's up, everybody? How your day going?
All right, so we're gonna give everybody, a few more seconds to get in here. So go ahead and get your notepad. If you don't have it, make sure you got your charger.
Your iPad, your tablet, your cell phone. I know a lot of you guys got the iPhones.
All right, so make sure y'all got y'all stuff ready. All right, and if you ain't invited your friends, now is the time. So they better hop on. All right. What's going on, guys? What's going on? What's going on? Glad to see y'all again. Glad to be in the number one more time. Let us know if you can hear us. Right. Let us know. Put one in the chat if you can hear me.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So,
what you saying? Oh no, just about to be funny. That's all. What I do best. You can press 1 or 2 or 3.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, you guys, we thank you guys for joining us again. We do want to say thank you for joining us. If you joined us on our last session, we had a great time, great information.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we here to do it all over again.
Right. So we're here for part 2, which we entitled Pushing Peas, right? So in the last session, we discussed going over basically how to be able to create revenue streams and why it is that so many of us are flatlining our bank accounts. And that's from the gist of having bills due at a time that you don't realize that they're due, and having all your bills running together. Next thing you know, you get to the first of the month and you're already sinking because everything's due around that time. So
that's right.
I don't know why he just sitting here like a knot on the line, man. Trying to get this thing going. But anyway, like I said, we want to make sure that you guys understand that it's not always your fault when it comes down to, having bills due, you're not able to pay. Or sometimes it's just the organization of our finances that causes us to be in a situation or a bind, so to speak, right? And then we also talked about how that leads to creating negative debt. Right. So you end up in a situation where you can't pay your bills. You go to these smaller loan companies with high interest rates. You get those loans, and then boom, next thing you know, now you got another bill due on top of the bills you already have due, or paying your bills with credit cards that only last for so long because you're supposed to stay within a certain utilization. And if you go over there, now you're tarnishing your credit. And on top of that, it's only going to last as long as that credit limit is going to let it last. So, those are the things that we covered in the last session. If you did not catch it, you can catch the replay. You got 24 more hours to watch the replay. After that, it's coming down. So make sure if you did not watch it, go ahead and watch it. Share it with your friends, share it with your family. Because this is pertinent information, guys. We're teaching you how to live now, right? Not for the latter. We're not pushing pipe dreams. Everybody got their dreams. But in order to get your dreams accomplished, you got to learn how to live now.
And check this out. So just because you actually watching this video or you might need this, that doesn't mean you're doing bad. That doesn't mean you're struggling. That doesn't mean you're not making 6-7 figures or whatever. Because this information that you're going to utilize whether you consider the low class family, middle or high class.
Right.
Like everyone can use some assistance with organizational finances. Even myself, like we've been through that. Like I ain't gonna lie, we had to go through some things. And that's why we want to tell you guys that, so in case you guys are going through it, we'll show you the steps of how to get out of that situation.
Right.
Because no one told us. We had to live the hard way, right? And like I said, I think in the previous live, when I graduated from college, I hit every loan company in Middle Georgia. Well, I probably shouldn't have said Middle Georgia because they might be like, well, I remember him. We want our money back. But anyway, so I made some bad decisions, but no one taught me, right? And then when, business was going great and started making a lot of money and started making bad choices, and I had things set on auto draft. Things were coming out the account, it's like I couldn't keep up with stuff. So, and that's why organization is very important, right? And a lot of times we don't think about that. Mm-hmm. We think about receiving the money and spending.
Right.
If a bill due, take care of it. But then again, you probably paid something that you already don't pay before.
So and to kind of piggyback off of what he's saying too is what's happening is now we're seeing an uptick in trend and people want to get business credit, but just like you have personal credit, with business credit you got to pay that back too.
Right.
Stop letting people just pitch this to you like that's the cop out, that's the way out. That's not the cop out and the way out, because I'm telling you, you have to pay these loans, these term loans that you guys are getting, these credit cards, y'all have to pay that back. So if you don't have a plan in place already to go ahead and pay that stuff off and you're going and getting it, you're already creating more negative debt. What could be a positive because you have a plan to pay it off, you have a cycle for that, you don't have that already.
And I'm going to let you guys know now, like Keisha said, a lot of people try to create business credit thinking it's going to help them and get them out of certain situation. What you guys probably didn't know, but you about to know now. In order to get funded for your business, you have to have good credit on the personal side. Reason why? Because the bank want to pull your financial history, your background. Where if you've been doing good paying a credit card with a $1,000 limit, we probably can trust you with a $100,000 credit card. But if it's sure that you struggle to pay a credit card and you keep messing it out, they're not going to fund you for your business. So that's why this is very important that everything be organized and that you learn to manage and budget your money.
Right, that's so true, guys, and also, that's especially true for businesses that are starting out. Right, you want to make sure that you have that in place. You want to make sure that your personal credit is good, because they're going to ask for that, because you don't have any history as a business owner yet. Now, if you have established history, if you've been in business for a certain amount of time, yes, that is true. You may be able to get it without having to PG, but now, especially in the times that we're living in, they're going to ask you to PG. So you want to make sure that you're good on all ends. You don't want to be caught with your pants down, so to speak, in any area. You want to make sure that you're good and you're all the way, legit when it comes to getting this stuff, guys, because if not, you're setting yourself up for failure, because now, like I said, you're going to have even more debt on top of what you already have, trying to take care of it with another debt. And that's what we want to avoid. So that's what we talked about in our last session, and going over, just how to be able to take care of that without creating negative debt. How can we take care of or create another income stream so that we'll be able to take care of that? So we're going to jump right on into this thing. So, hey, if you have ideas, you have a product or service, but you don't know how to push it, if this is you, type me in the chat, because I know I've been there, right? I have so many ideas. I got family members, friends that have so many ideas, but they don't know where to start. The key, first of all, is to start. And if you don't know where to start, you're in the right place right now, because we're going to talk about how to get started with pushing those ideas, pushing those services, and developing those services, right?
And another thing, before we move on, don't be afraid to ask for help. If you know somebody that's already doing it and they got experience in what you're trying to do, ask for help. Ask them to help you out, because, of course, I don't know how to do everything. Like, even with the social media and the marketing, this is the guru here. Without her, man, I ain't gonna tell them how my, y'all probably won't even know who I am. I ain't even gonna lie.
And it's true, man. And it is so many ways to do marketing without having to worry about necessarily being on the forefront of your camera shy. We're gonna talk about all of that, but yes, social.
Boy.
Yeah, we'll talk about all of that, because I've been there, done that.
Again.
Right, exactly. I mean, even doing this type of training with you guys live like this, like, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to build up. It takes really a lot of courage to do that. But if we can do it and break through our anxieties, we know that you can too. And you can do this without even having to show your face. But you want to let people see your beautiful face or your handsome face, whatever.
A lot of times,
you want to make sure that
I'm a whole lot calmer doing live. And my sidekick just sitting there,
Sidekick.
Now, so a lot of y'all think I be doing a great job. I think I do okay job, But I can't say I came a long way, because I mean, when I first tried to do a live, boy.
We'll talk about that when we get to that section. Yeah. But let's get started. So make sure you guys go ahead and have your pen and paper ready. I don't play. And if you're ready, type ready in the chat. I want to see it ready. If you are ready to jump into this. All right. So, we want to make sure that you're getting the information. So like I said, if you don't want to write it down, go ahead and get your phone. And just to tell you guys a little bit about us, we talked about this on our last session as well. We like to teach, we like to travel, we like to treat ourselves, right? So We do like to move around a lot. We don't really stay home often. And that's just because, you know, we like to see what the world has to offer, right? We love to teach like we're doing right now. And like we said before, you know, it takes a lot to be able to get out here and get on live and take a time out of our day, put our anxieties to the side and teach you guys. But we have to, because somebody has to do it, right? Somebody has to do it. Somebody has to step up and give you guys the information that you need. And it's not always going to come by a social media post or a quick little text or something like that. Sometimes you got to hop into this thing as if it's a class, right? Some of you guys may have sat through college. You know how that goes, right? You have to sit through a session to be able to get information that you need. And it's a lot more personable. I like talking to you guys on live. You know what I mean? So, you know, it kind of gives me the cool down to my whole day. You know what I mean? So y'all some cool people. And again, I thank you guys for joining us on today.
We really thank you guys for joining us on this live today. This evening.
You finna get kicked off already. You finna get kicked off already. So, house rules. Know the rules. Keep negative comments to yourself. If you're looking for popcorn quick results, this ain't it. I'm gonna tell you that now. You know, everything that we teach, it does take a process, right? It takes time. It's not, you're not just gonna wake up tomorrow and be a millionaire. We don't pitch that because we know that that's not true.
Right. And it's kind of like having a baby. You know, a baby takes 9 months, you know, before it's born. You know, it's nothing overnight. I said that right. Yeah, nothing overnight.
Yeah, baby's not born overnight.
Not born
but yeah,
overnight.
So and if you're ready to take your passion and products and payments to the next level, say let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Let's go, let's go.
Yeah, see, I'll tell you, we still like this all the time, but we like to have fun and we like to educate at the same time. We can't help it, guys. So let's do a quick recap. All right, so quick rewind on what we went over the last session, right? So we looked at the 30 days in a month, 31 days in a month, right? The majority of bills are normally due between the 1st and the 15th. Like, this is the majority of the bills that we have in the everyday household, right? And that's due between the first part of the month. So that means that the first 1 or 2 checks that you have coming in from your 9 to 5, you're spending towards bills already. And in some instances, considered upon how much you're getting paid each pay period, you're going to find yourself in a situation where you're not able to pay all of this at one time, right? And so what that does, as you see on the expenses here, how your expenses, all of this is due on the forefront. You already in the red. You have no room and no breathing room to develop the funding that you need to be able to pay your bills on time. And so that creates what we know as negative debt. And that's because the math just is not math. And we don't have what we need to be able to take care of those bills. That doesn't mean you're irresponsible. We just looked at that. None of this is stuff that's you know, you spending it on something that's not needed or not necessary. These are necessities, guys. And this is the reality for a lot of us. This is somebody that's making, you know, roughly $21 an hour, $20 an hour. So if you're making below that, can you imagine how tough it is, right? And we have to be more understanding when it comes to that. It doesn't mean you're irresponsible. Stop beating yourself up for that, because it's just the times that we live in, and things are starting to, you know, the cost of certain things are starting to rise, and we just cannot afford the regular standard of living that we have. And you know, I saw something the other day, just yesterday on the news, and this older lady, she was talking about how she had to move out of her home into a hotel because she could no longer afford her mortgage payments. And that broke my heart, because I was like, man, you know, that's crazy. She's not the only one having to do this. And then she was like, yeah, she's like, I look at it as if a hurricane hits. And that sat with me. I was like, you know what, this is similar to like if a hurricane hits, you're displaced. A lot of you guys are becoming displaced. A lot of you guys are displaced in just your financial standing in general. You used to having a certain amount and being able to stretch it so far, and now it ain't stretching like you used to. So, you know, I watched that yesterday, and that really broke my heart. And it brought to my attention that, yeah, right now we're living in a financial hurricane. Things are happening every day that's changing the way that we engage with our finances, with our credit, and things of that nature.
Now, and we're not, you know, saying to be scared. So that's why we want everybody to try to think just a little bit smarter, you know, because a lot, like she said, you know, the interest rates went up, inflation went up, but our salaries are still the same.
Right.
So we just have to adjust. We just have to do things a little differently. Right. So, and I did a post about it, I think, yesterday. So we have to, what we did yesterday won't work today. You know, I'm pretty sure what we doing today won't work tomorrow, because the economy is still changing.
Right, exactly. So in order to be able to, you know, alleviate some of that pressure, we talked about how to be able to turn your daily habits into something that you could make money from. We looked at a few daily habits that we have, such as commuting. Maybe your daily habit or your weekly habit is going out with your girls for a drink or something like that. Maybe you create your favorite dish or cook your favorite dish once a week. How can we turn that into something that's going to bring us income, right? And so we broke it down into these sections here, which is what is it? What do you recommend to do to complete it, which is the process? And why do you recommend doing that way? That's the education, kind of what we're doing here. And then can you create a plan for me to execute it? That's the done for you service, right? And so those things bring about a certain amount of income on average that you'll be able to present to your audience and be able to bring more income so that you'll be able to cover down on the expenses that you have, the necessities that you need without creating that negative debt. And then we looked at some ways to be able to do that. So we just looked at drinks with the girls for an example. So what is it? What is that? How does that go down? Well, you can create a simple PDF on, hey, this is the days I go out, these are the places I go to. It could be a simple post. People are always on social media asking for a recommendation. Hey, can you recommend a restaurant? Hey, can you recommend a place that we can go to get drinks, right? Well, you can simply do that to start bringing engagement, or you can create a simple little PDF to give the people that come to the city you stay in on places that you like to go.
Right.
What do you do? What do you recommend to do that? Like I said, a little recipe book, maybe with some of your favorite drinks, ebook, maybe. And TikTok is phenomenal for this. I'm telling you, I have watched many videos of people creating drinks at home and giving out the recipe, and that engagement. Now they're able to monetize off of those videos because they're able to, give out some information on how to create their favorite drinks. And it's something just that simple.
Man, everybody have their own signature drink.
Right. So, and if you don't drink, like I said, go for the food. What are some of your favorite appetizers you like? Even if you go out with somebody and you don't drink, that's great. Right. But what are you eating?
Yeah, right. Especially, for you guys that like to do meal prep or want to start meal prep. You can have your own different types of food items together,
right.
Kind of make it like gourmet style or something like that,
Right.
Make it unique.
Right. And you can talk about it on a budget. Okay, well, maybe you don't go out. Maybe y'all come together at your house. Okay, what do y'all do there? What's a good recommendation for a girls' day or drinks with the girls at home, right? Or virtual drinks with the girls. How do y'all do that? So just simple little things like that. Why do you recommend doing it that way? Social media videos, YouTube videos, and TikTok. And then done for you would be like a recipe book of some of the things that you create, right?
Right.
So that's just simple ways to get that done. And that's what we talked about before. And then this is the homework I gave you guys, impacted income, where you basically break down an idea, you break down a daily task, and you break it down according to these prompts, and you answer these questions, right? That builds out your product and also builds out how you're going to deliver that product. Right now, we do this on a weekly basis so that we'll know what exactly it is that we're bringing to you guys so that it makes sense, right? It's just a way to help you structure that. And if you want a copy of this book, I'll drop that in the comments so that you can get a copy of the book. It's an entire book that I developed specifically for this to help you guys to be able to create passive income. So we'll be able to get that to you. And like I said, I'll drop that in the comments. But so now, you have a product or a service ready, but now what do you do? So maybe you already got your product in mind or your service that you want to provide ready, but what are you going to do now, right? So you got it together. Where are we going to send it out at? Social media. I know a lot of you guys may be against social media. Some of you guys may love social media to death, but I'm telling you, it's free. Right. This is where you want to start because this is where you can meet the most people. You can meet people from all over the world. It's not just within your bubble or your circle in your city, right?
15 years ago, we didn't have access to social media. Everything was pretty much, it was old school. You had to mail it off and do door-to-door presentations and stuff like that, old school,
Yeah.
And then you just hope that it, people buy into it and take off. But now you have social media, which is free,
right?
Right. So, like I said before, things are constantly changing. And the thing about it, even though some of you guys have social media, you got to step out there. You got to do it.
Right.
Because I know sometimes I'm a witness of this too. I'm guilty of this. I'm like, I'm going to do it tomorrow. And then the next day, something else come up. And you keep pushing it back, right? Now, I don't know if that's fear or there's just anxiety kicking in. But you got to step out there and do it. And we could pray for something all day, every day, but we got to put in the work.
Right.
Okay. So get your, try to get your fears out the way, anxiety out the way, and just do it. Because you never know what's on the other side of that fence. So you got to go for it. That's the first thing you got to do. You got to step out and just do it.
Right, exactly. And that's very true. And you never know what's on the other side. And then you see wrong information all the time, and then you get upset because you're like, oh man, they out here pitching wrong information, and you want to talk about it. But you got to learn to be about it. Just like they're giving out, the wrong information, what are you doing to combat that? Are you out here providing the correct information?
Right.
So you got to think about all of that too. So we're going to talk about Facebook first. So what to post normally. What we do, and again, this is based upon the success that we've seen for our own businesses. We do stories, general posts with photos and links. That's like your general graphics and things of that nature, just to grab someone's attention. And then we do live videos, like we're live with you right now. So, we do this 2 to 3 times a week. We try to post. That doesn't mean you got to do a live 2 to 3 times a week. That doesn't mean you got to do a story. It's a mixture of these things 2 to 3 times a week. Now, there are other people that are going to tell you that you have to do it more than that. I'm not disagreeing with that. Go as much as you can, right? However, we have to start somewhere. And that's what I like to teach. I like to teach for the level of someone who's getting started. So in order to get started, you don't want to overwhelm yourself by saying, oh God, I got to do 10 posts this week. No. We're going to start slow. We're going to get this process together. And so that's why I say, normally 2 to 3 times a week, that'll start to build your engagement, build that momentum, start to get that train going with you being able to, put out what it is that you like to do, what you're providing as a solution to a problem.
Right. And the thing about it, you start at your time, start at your pace. Don't try to be like everybody else, right? You see, some people do posts every single day.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times.
And it's okay.
Right.
Now you'll get there eventually, but like I said, what's for you is for you.
Right.
Start off at your own pace. If it's at 1 post a week, that's fine.
Right.
But you're gonna as you progress, you'll start posting more and you'll start moving at your own pace. So I know we can get sidetracked because we see all these influencers, they doing this, they doing that, and we gotta hurry up and get the way they are. No. Because what they not telling you that it took them about 20, 30 years to get the way they are too. So take your time, but you got to start because if you don't start, you'll never know. All right?
Say that again.
And worry about yourself.
Yes, it's so true. We get so caught up into, what everyone else is doing. And that may work for them. And it may work for you at one point in time in your life, but it's just not that time yet. So that's what, I always tell people is to make sure you at least get started. So 2 to 3 times, a week on Facebook, that's enough to say, hey, I got started, right? It's not, so overwhelming where I'm asking you to do 15 posts and things of that nature, right? It can be done, but you got to get started with something first so that you can build up.
And basically, you just making yourself relevant.
Right, exactly. That's so true. And so let's look at Instagram. I love Instagram, guys. Actually, Instagram recently updated, so I love it even more as a business owner. Yeah, some people didn't get updated yet.
Still stuck back in time.
Right. I don't know why some people didn't get updated, but it's consistently updating. Like roughly about every 2 months we get an update or whatnot. So on Instagram, I like to do reels. Reels do really, 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 really good on Instagram, and it doesn't have to be a video of you. Also just general posts with photos and maybe like a link in the comments. I'm gonna say that again, a link in the comments, because it's not going to show up as a hyperlink. So you want to put it in the comments and people can copy and paste it and go to whatever it is that you need. Or you can put it in your bio. If you have a link, like a link tree, or if you have a funnel link with all of your services on there, things like that, you want to put that in your Instagram bio. If you got like something like a blog post, you can put that link to that in your bio. As well as anything like dealing with like any other social media avenues that you want somebody to follow you. So if they're following you on Instagram, you want them to follow you on Facebook, drop your Facebook link on Instagram and let people follow you there. And if you have a community, if you have a Facebook group, you want to use that link, put that in your bio on Instagram. I'm telling you, it's going to make a world of difference. Live videos are pretty good on Instagram as well. To us, for what we have, we get more traffic on our live videos on Facebook. It's a little harder to do cross-posting with the lives between Instagram and Facebook. So that's a lot of times why you'll see people doing them separate. Sometimes they're able to get them together, but they're using more than one device So that's why normally, our lives are on Facebook, but you can do them on Instagram as well. You can alternate between the two platforms, so you're not, negating any of your audiences as well. And then stories, you always got your stories. And what I like about Instagram stories is that you can put stickers in there with your links in there directly in the story. So I really like that a lot. That has really, really, really been helpful for us, is being able to use that sticker option in there. And if you need help with any of this, feel free to reach out. That's what I do. As he said before, I do help. I do it like I ain't reaching out to you no more. Now, just I'm tired of reaching out to the folks in my house now.
Tell them how you really is.
Nah, man, it ain't like that. Yeah. And on Instagram, normally 2 to 3 times per week to keep from bombarding people. Because what I realized too, sometimes you can post too much, and people get tired, right? People get tired of being sold. So you want to make sure that you are doing a variety of posts, right? A variety. Show people what you do in your day-to-day. Show people your vacation, and then show them your product in relevance to maybe your vacation. A lot of the times what I do, and I'll show you guys an example at the end, is I'll show us on vacation or on a business trip, right? And I'll link that back to the freedom that I got because I'm an entrepreneur, right? And you probably see this a lot now on social media because it's like everybody's an entrepreneur all of a sudden, right? But you want to make sure that you provide a variety of posts. You don't want to just be all about. Actually had a conference call with somebody this week about that. Do not make all of your posts about sales. Do not pitch your idea all day long on social media, because people, they may gravitate to it at first, but then they'll start to get a little tired because they don't know you as a person. The goal with social media marketing is to make sure people know who you are, right? It's not becoming an influencer. You're not influencing people. And that's another thing. Influencers, they tend to do that. They send it out a lot more as far as the product. But you want to show people like who you are as a person and why they should, purchase your product or engage with this service. So you don't want to just be someone that's selling all day, every day. Because
after a while, when they see your post, they're like, oh, shucks. They try to sell me something again. They're going to keep strolling.
Yeah, they're going to keep going right past that. You don't want that.
You don't want that. And then they'll look at you as you brought it. Here go one of another scam artist again.
Yeah.
And that might not even be true.
Right. So exactly. It's all in the wording. And it's also all about how you're posting your sequences. All of that makes a difference. And it also makes a difference with the algorithm too. And it also makes a difference as far as how your engagement is going to go on social media and things like that. So here's some overlooked opportunities. A lot of people don't think about LinkedIn and Twitter, but LinkedIn and Twitter have helped us out tremendously, especially my independent business as, marketing and production and artist, right? Twitter has been really helpful with that because you're able to do your thoughts and your topics. I like to be able to tell people what I'm thinking. I kind of use Twitter as my journal. And so I go in there and I post things according to like business or what I may be thinking on a personal level at that time that's motivating me or pushing me, or challenges that I deal with. Because when you're on social media, you don't want to always just post about what you're selling, and you don't always want to just post about the good. Let people know that you're human and that you have challenges as well, right? So I use Twitter for that a lot. Product releases, I also put that on Twitter. When I'm releasing my NFTs and my artwork, I put those releases on Twitter. And then service releases as well. If I'm developing a new service or a new platform or a new software, then I let that be known on Twitter. Twitter, I post a little bit more. I do 4 to 5 times a week. And reason being is Twitter posts are simple, man. Like I said, a lot of times it's my journal. So I'm just posting rapid thoughts. So I may have a thought that comes to mind, like in relation to business, maybe something about dealing with like trust factors, or something dealing with like individuals not want to be patient and waiting for their service or their product. I think I posted something the other day and I was like, we purchase something on Amazon, we pay for it, and then we have to wait for it to get here. But we don't want to wait on the journey to success, right? And that's so true. So, little thoughts like that, I post that 4 to 5 times a week on Twitter. And then as far as LinkedIn, I love LinkedIn because it's business oriented, it's structured. And a lot of times what I put on there is like career updates, service release, product releases, and then I respond. That's a great place to respond to others' posts, especially large corporations. If you want to be seen by a large corporation, your best bet is to 1, follow them on LinkedIn, and 2, engage with their posts. I talk to Visa all the time about the things that they're doing, their initiatives. I like it. I share it. Same thing with like Disney, Pixar. And it's not to say that I want to work there, but if you do want a job there, then you'll be able to, engage with the people that are already there, try to get some insight on how it is working there to see if you really want to do that. Because a lot of times what we do is we try to get, a job somewhere, right? And then we really don't know the culture of the company. Now, of course, as the CEO, they're going to tell you it's a great place to work. Right. We take care of you. We make sure you're great. And then you get up and then you're like, what happened? Like, this is not what you said at all, right? So, you're able to talk to people that work at that particular company and get some insight, like to see if you really fit into the culture before you, put in the application or get the job there. So LinkedIn is really, 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 really good for that. And so I highly advise, if you don't have a LinkedIn account, go ahead and get one. And it's also great for contracting. So say, for instance, you have your service or product already ready and you see where you can plug that into a business or a corporation that's already active. Get on LinkedIn and plug in your product or service with the things that the company has going on. Let them know what you're doing. There's no wrong answer. There's no bad information out there. Either you'll get a yes or a no. If you get a no, move on. If you get a yes, that's great, right? Even if you get a no, that's great, because maybe it's something that you can include or improve on to be able to fit the mold of the business that you're trying to become a contractor with. So, that's just some insight on some things that has, really helped me, in the process of using LinkedIn.
And what helped me is that she created those accounts for me and she posts for me. That will help me. I told you, social media marketing, that's her thing.
Right. and let me say that too. Like, we're about to hop into the content ideas for the camera shot, because that was me, man. I hated being in front of people. I hated being in front of a camera. I'm a photographer, videographer. I'm behind the camera at all times. That's my job. I am the background person. You rarely see me and you rarely talk to me. But in the past 2 years, I've realized that I can't live my life like that. And the reason being is because the culture is shifting so much. Like, even though we're a partnership, even though we're together, like, they still have to see us individually. They still want to know who Keisha is, and they want to know who Tron is. So they have to see us. And I feel like you finna say something. So go ahead.
Listen, if you guys don't like being on camera, I understand. I'm the same way. I've gotten better. I've gotten better. We had plenty of fights. Mm-hmm. We almost had plenty of breakups. Mm-hmm.
And it's the truth, guys.
For real. Like,
when you're in business and you're trying to push each other to be better, you're not going to always agree. Right, so if you think that you are sadly mistaken.
I was going to give up. We had plenty explicit content words to each other, about it. I think, right. But anyway, I got over it. Now, one thing that happened to me sometimes, Liz, is that I can have everything well thought out, what I'm going to say. As soon as that red light come on that camera,
yeah.
And so
that red light syndrome.
And then when I cut the camera off, like, oh man, I was supposed to have said this, that, and the other. Listen, it's okay to have your nose with you.
Yes.
You can't look. You don't always have to stare at the camera.
Right.
All right. You can look down at your nose if you got to. Nothing wrong with that. All right. It's all about getting that information out there. And after a while, you get comfortable. You might not need it, but I ain't gonna lie, I still need my notes.
Right.
Because it's like a lot of times, even when I'm in my sanctuary, I ain't gonna tell you where that's at, but I think about a lot of stuff, and sometimes I have to record myself because I think about so much information. Because I already know if I try to write it down, I'm gonna forget everything. So, and exactly. I take my notes off of that.
Right, exactly. So, it's okay to do what works for you. And a lot of people try to conform to the way that everybody else, handles their, content creation and all of that. But you have to do what works for you, because you got to realize that the way that you present yourself, the way that you present the information that you have, the services and products, that's the audience that's going to gravitate to you. And a lot of times we get lost in the sauce of thinking that everybody's our audience and they're not, right? Some people like Mercedes, some people like BMW, some people like Hondas. Who is your audience? And so that's what you want to think about when you're going into content creation, and realizing that you don't have to do it like everybody else does. Like, you don't have to do that at all. So So yeah, so let's talk about this content ideas for the camera shy, right? So these are some things that we've done before that have helped us tremendously, dealing with anxieties and social anxieties and trying to get over the fact of feeling like, oh man, and my information might be wrong, you know what I'm saying? So you want to make sure you take a snapshot of this if you got your phone available as well. So these are just 5 content ideas for the camera shot, right? So using controversy, choosing a hot topic. This is really big on Instagram and really big on Facebook. Choosing a hot topic and giving your opinion. People will pay for your opinion. We do it all the time. Yeah. We pay for cable. We watch reality TV shows or somebody else giving their opinion for 30 minutes to an hour, but we feel like our opinions are not validated, and that's not true, right? Like, give your opinion on something in a meaningful way that leads back to your product, right? So say for instance, someone's on social media. I'm just using Mr. Hammond for an example. Somebody's on social media and they're talking about developing a business, right? And they're talking about, oh well, in order to develop a business, you gotta at least start with 5 million in the bank, this, that, and the third, right? Now, Sean might not agree with that. So I'm gonna take that video of that person saying that about the 5 million to start off, and I'm gonna stitch a video of him and his opinion on that to that video, and I'm gonna release that, right? And even if he doesn't say anything, he might just shake his head no. And I'm showing an example of that, right? Well, that's actually work. He might just sit there and shake his head no and just be frustrated, give a frustrated face about what the guy is saying. That brings on awareness and that brings engagement to your post. Remix. Taking a video that's already produced, that's already yielding a whole lot of likes. This is great for TikTok. A whole lot of likes and a whole lot of views. You take that video and you remix it with your own video, your own saying, right? And so you're able to kind of, what we say is piggybacking off of the already, the likes and stuff like that that's associated with the hashtag that's with the video, right? And I have an example of that as well. Stock videos, that's just videos that I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Canva. We talked about that in our last session. If you want more information on Canva, how to use it, please feel free to hit me up. I love Canva to death. Stock videos, using stock video to be able to portray your message. You can do that. Creating stories with stock video to say what you want to say. You can do that without having a video of yourself on there, right? If you don't want to be seen, it's always other things you can use, right? Social media group posting. Start a social media group with people that you know, that you are comfortable with engaging with, right? People that have like-minded interests, and invite them to come in and complete videos. And this is something that I've done multiple times. Sean has done as well, completing videos before you add people in there. And that's just so, number one, when they get in there, they have some content to be able to look at. And number two, you're not necessarily doing it live right in front of them, so that you don't have to worry about, your anxiety getting up. It's just you, the camera, and an empty group, right? And you're able to already have that content in there. And then challenges and giveaways. This is great for getting engagement, getting people to come into your service or product realm, finding out more about what you do, and incentivizing people for actually engaging with you, right? It's just like when we were kids, we did something good, we asked mama for a treat, right? Well, it's kind of the same concept as adults, right? We still like to be treated and treated well. So therefore, if I'm engaging with you, what are you going to give me back? I gave somebody some advice yesterday in a forum, and I was telling them, I was like, hey, like they were talking about they sold a book, and with that book they were starting to lose momentum. I said, hey, well, go on social media, go on Facebook, create a group, and then let people who have already purchased your book become a part of that group. And in order for people to come into the group, they have to buy your book. So now you're incentivizing them with one-on-one contact in your group for them actually purchasing the book that you have, produced. And so they really like that a lot. So that's a way to be able to get people to engage with you more and incentivize them, is giving them somewhere to go. And creating a group on Facebook is free, guys. There's no excuse to not be able to use that. And again, it creates that community of like-minded people, and it creates a pool of individuals that you can continue to put your products in front of. So you want to make sure that you're using all avenues possible. And like I said, with the 3 to 5 day challenge, we did that last year, and it was highly successful.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I think that's something that we could implement more of as well.
The challenges, right? And so, and that's just to keep it, get everybody motivated and get everybody active and stuff like that. And a lot of people, honestly, especially when it's something new. People love challenges.
Yes, exactly.
They like challenges and stuff because it makes it fun, and it's kind of like it's being competitive, but it's fun.
Right, exactly, because everybody's going for the same goal,
right.
And it could be something as simple as lunch on you, like for $10. You know, it don't have to be a whole lot.
I ain't trying to feed you. I'm just
joking. Wow. I'm just joking, man. No. Yeah, so I mean, like I said, if you don't want to feed nobody, like some people in the house, then there's other ways you can give something right. away, maybe a discount on another product or service that you had.
Right. So, and a lot of times when you do those challenges, well, first of all, when you do those challenges, of course, you create your own group, right? Then once again, you do those challenges. And one thing about it, like when you have that group and you create those challenges, like a lot of y'all become family. Mm-hmm. You start to become, you start to get to know each other.
Right.
Right. And then you're going to open up more, and then everybody in that group pretty much going, kind of like-minded individuals.
Right.
And then y'all going to have the same passion. Y'all can be able to relate on different things and stuff like that. Like I said, y'all going to become a family.
Right.
And then that thing, it won't be nothing for you to just throw a video or a live inside that group, because now you're nurturing that group.
Right, exactly. And so here goes some tools, basically for starting up and getting your flow together. So, you want to set up your product and delivery right first. So that's, creating an Instagram store, because Instagram has this direct store that you can utilize if you sell a merchandise. Link to the file in your Google Drive. So that's like if you have a course, or if you have like a document or a template, you can send out the link to that. You can send out the link to that, to your customer, have that ready so that you can deliver that way. Or off of Canva. Canva offers direct links as well, or a link to schedule with you. So if you use like a scheduler, like Calendly, yeah. And then, I think that's one of the Acuity. I was like, it's hard to say Calendly. Yeah. Like, I don't know why you put that together like that. But anyway, in Acuity and Google, in their, calendar, they also offer the appointment service. Now it's paid though. They don't have a free version of that. So I know that for a fact, Acuity does have a free version that you can set up for at least one service. So if you just got one service and you're just starting out, Acuity might be the best bet. The setup, you'll use Stripe to set up your product, right? If you have a service, you'll use Calendly or Acuity, but you'll still set it up in Stripe. So what happens is in Stripe, you have a way to create a product. When you create that product, whether it's a service or not, you can go ahead and tag the price. So if you know that your consultation, so to speak, is maybe $150 for them to sit with you for an hour, and you provide a consultation as a service, then you can set that up in Stripe. They'll pay for that, and then they'll be directed through a redirect, and we're going to talk about that in number 4, towards your calendar to be able to schedule that session with you, because they've already paid for that session, right? They've already paid for their spot. Use social media. We just went through the avenues of social media to utilize, and if you're camera shy, some ways to get out there on social media. Use that to push your product consistently. And then the sales delivery, using Stripe to collect the payment for the product or service, and use a redirect to your product link, right? So once you set up your links here using Canva, Google Drive, or Calendly, or Acuity, once they go on Stripe, instead of sending out with a thank you message, and Stripe is free, without having to worry about paying for anything. So you can also, once they pay, they'll be able to get redirected. Instead of sending out a thank you message, you'll tell it to redirect, and you'll put in the link to that particular product, or you'll put in a link to schedule that service, right? And so, like I said, if you need one-on-one assistance with this, I'm here, and we can go through that process together. And then let's look at an example. So say for instance, what's too fast? Say, for instance, you got a product that's $9.97. You'll create a link to redirect to your product or to your calendar to sign up. So say, for instance, you got a little ebook, right? You're selling it for $9.97. You'll set that up in maybe Canva, right? Canva produces its own link for the book that you created in there. Or if you're going to just create it and upload it to Google Drive, you can do that as well. And Google Drive is free up to a certain amount of space. So you'll get that Google Drive link, and you'll put that in your Stripe when you create the product itself. So you'll go to Stripe, you'll create the product, you'll put in maybe it's like I said, $9.97. You'll put the product name, and then you'll go ahead and create a QR code or a payment link. Those are two ways to easily get paid: a QR code or a payment link. Right now, I use payment links a lot because I got a link for every type of product or service that I have. And if somebody asks me about it, I just shoot them the link. They pay for it, they schedule it, boom, we're good to go, right? The push, post about your product 2 to 3 times a week in addition to your regular post. So if you already posting like maybe once a day, if you posting sporadically, just make sure you at least post about what you got going on as far as your service or your product at least 2 to 3 times a week to stay relevant. Because like Sean said, it's about the relevance, right? If you are very slack and you're not consistent with your post, then guess what? They're going to start pushing your post information down, and less and less people will see it in their feeds, and you don't want that. Like I said, social media is a free tool to be able to utilize to be able to push your product. So you want to make sure that you're using that. And like I said, at least 2 to 3 times a week, posting about, your product or service. And then the rest of your post can be about your daily life, maybe your life as an entrepreneur starting out, or whatever that may be. And then your sales delivery, client pays for the product or service using Stripe, and Stripe will redirect them to the link to download the file or to schedule the appointment. So it's really that simple, guys. It's not that hard at all. Make sure you snap this as well, because like I said, this is pertinent information that you will be able to use, and all of this is free, right? Every one of these avenues has a free version or it's free to utilize up to a certain point. Like I said, Stripe is free completely, right? Canva, they have free avenues as well. If you get the paid version, you got access to like more stock videos and more photos, but you don't need that right now. You just need to get started, right? And then, like I said, Canva is great for that. Great for, creating products, great for creating quick templates and things like that to be able to sell to people and help them. Something else that's great right now is checklists. Checklists are selling really well. You can sell that for like $1.97. It may seem cheap on the lower end, but you got to think about how many people will actually be able to purchase that for such a low cost. It's about the volume, not necessarily you got to have the highest price item. You just want to make sure your volume's up. So yeah. So let's look at some examples here of some posts that I've done. This is a remix video or a stitch video that I've done on TikTok. And as you can see, it had at that time over 9,000 plays. It's probably well over 10,000 now. It's been shared more times than I can remember. At this point, at that point that I took the snapshot, it's around 3. And then it had several likes, as you can see, over 1,000 likes here. And so on this video, I didn't say anything at all. I just recorded myself nodding to what Kobe Bryant was saying. And because this video was already popular, I was able to piggyback off of that and get a lot more engagement. And so now it's pulling more people to my page because they're seeing my content, right? So then right after that, I went and posted about our first class, and more people were, on the live because they were like, okay, I know who she is. And again, that's just piggybacking off of something that's already created. You don't have to recreate the wheel. Sometimes you just got to be innovative, right? And this is an innovative way to do that.
Just start.
Right.
Just start somewhere. And like she said, you don't have to always start from ground floor, right? If you already got tools and resources in front of you, go for it, use it.
Exactly.
Right? So that was all about, because like I said, we didn't have this assets just 15 years ago or 20, so like I said, just go for it, and just get yourself out there.
Right, exactly. So here's some sample reels that I've done. I think this one was put on TikTok. This one was on Instagram. Yeah, so this one was TikTok. That's actually a snapshot of it right here. And it was of me painting. You can't even see my face, right? Got over 3,000 plays off of that video. That's engagement. That's people actually watching what I'm doing, right? And then here's an example of what I talked about earlier when I said I show, our business or, our business vacations, because that's what they are really, because I go on vacation when I go on a business trip. So, our vacations and showing what freedom actually looks like. And they got over 3,000 plays at that time too. And that's just showing, them basically me laying on the beach. They don't even see my face. They don't even know what I look like here. But they like the fact that I'm showcasing the freedom of being an entrepreneur. And then I'm able to pitch that along with my, my coaching services and my consults, because I'm like, hey, like, this is what I get to do while people are at their 9 to 5. And it's true. This is factual. Right. This is actually me on the beach. So, you want to, and that's another thing, you want to be honest in what you're doing, because people are going to research and find out, right, if it's really you or not. So you want to make sure that you pitching good information and be real with people, man. Be real.
Right. And the thing about it now, I will tell you this: you don't have to make $1 million to take a vacation.
You ain't lying.
Don't get that. Don't let that fool you.
Right.
Like you don't have to make 7-8 figures to be able to,
enjoy your life.
Enjoy your life.
Right.
Right. Because most people that's doing it, they're not millionaires.
And they're not enjoying their life.
Right.
Right. Because they're so caught up in I gotta mate, I gotta beat, and I gotta mate. Yes, you want to set goals and you want to beat those goals, but you gotta learn that maybe your comfort level is enough, right?
Right.
Maybe you're not at $1 million yet, but you're feeling great at 6 figures. You're feeling great at knowing that you're getting to 6 figures. Maybe you're feeling great at knowing you broke 6 figures and getting ready to head into 200,000. Like, it's just those milestones. We got to start focusing on each milestone of the journey and not just the end goal, right? Because the end goal brings anxiety. There's been many times that a lot of us do not get started because we're like, man, this ain't gonna bring me $1,000, so I ain't even finna try it because I know I ain't gonna make $1,000 off of this. You might not make $1,000 a day, but in 2 weeks you might make 2,000 because you were consistent during that first part of the journey, right? It's all about progress on the journey. It's a journey. You're not gonna get this overnight. It's not gonna happen overnight.
Even when you start a 9 to 5,
right?
You're not gonna walk in with top dollar.
There you go.
Right. First, you got to prove yourself. You got to put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to put in a whole lot of time. And you got to let your supervisor or general manager or whoever know that you are worthy of the promotion.
Right.
And then it'll be granted to you. That's how your business is. Like your business, you got to put in time.
Right.
Lots of time.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it is worth it. Now, everybody may not make $1 million, but some people don't even want to make that. They just want to live comfortably. Mm-hmm. That's what it's all about.
Right. You
serving people and just living comfortably.
Exactly. You got to understand that wealth is not in money because money come and go. I've been telling people this all the time. Money comes and goes, right? Wealth is in your time. If I can get up in the middle of the day and be like, you know what? I need some space. I need to breathe. I'm going fishing.
Right.
And I can get up and do that without having to clock out. I can get up and do that without having to explain to my boss. Or if I'm sick and I'm not feeling well today, I don't have to worry about how much PTO time I'm finna lose because I'm sick. Or if my kid's sick. Or if my family, my spouse is sick. Or maybe we just need to take a break. Maybe we all just need to take a mental break. I don't have to answer to nobody to do that. That's wealth to me. No, I might not be making as much money as these billionaires out here.
Right.
And prayerfully one day we do. But if we don't, we still have wealth because we have our time to be able to take that and do what we need to do.
Right.
And enjoy the things that we enjoy. So you want to make sure that's what you're doing this for. You're not doing this to prove to somebody how much money you can make. You're not doing this to prove how much money you can make to yourself. You're doing this to get your freedom back.
Because if you start doing stuff for the wrong reasons, like you might not get the results that you want.
Right.
And on top of that, if it's all about money, you're going to do whatever it takes to get it, even if it's scam, right? And so that way you can't just make it about money. We got to be able to, it need to be about serving and helping others.
Right. And that's why, like I said, the title of this was Pushing P's, Passion, Product, and Payments, right? Because if you're passionate about it and you can create a product from it and you can create that, boost that passion up to be able to serve somebody else, then you'll get paid.
Right.
And you won't even realize you out here getting paid, but you'll be getting paid, right?
Money in your sleep.
Right, because now you're not chasing a payment, you're chasing your passion.
Right.
When you start chasing payments, guys, I'm telling you, it gets so stressful. Because you down on yourself. What if you make $1,000 this week, but you don't make $1,000 next week? You're going to quit because you're chasing payments. You're not chasing your passion.
And I was like that too. And she had to tell me, hey, you made some money. I did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you check it. Okay, cool.
But either way, even if you don't, you have to learn to be okay with that. That's the key to that. It's not necessarily about what you're making. It's about chasing the passion and purpose. It's not about the payments. That'll come. Trust me. I am one to tell you that you'll be well taken care of. Right. But you got to be passionate about what you're doing because if not, on the hard days, it's going to get real hard to keep going. It's going to get really tough.
If you're not passionate about it, what you're going to do is, like you said, on the hard days, guess what? You're going to give up.
You're going to quit.
You're going to quit.
Right, because you feel like, oh, I ain't make 1,000 this week, so I ain't doing good. I ain't make 600,000 this year. I ain't doing good, so I'm just quit and find something else to do. Like, no, don't quit. Like it's gonna vary. You know, it's there's variations in business. You might make something this week and next week you don't make nothing.
Right.
And you might make something this week and next week you might double or triple that, or you might not make nothing this week and triple it next week, right? So you gotta give right. It happens like that. We see it all the time. Yeah. You gotta think about it. It's a lot of factors that people don't tell you. People always telling you, "Oh, you're gonna make millions of dollars." Yeah, it's factors that go into that. Just like how we talked about people paying their bills, that factors into if you're getting paid or not, and it does, honestly. Because you got to think about as providing a service as a business owner, sometimes we on the lower end of people's thoughts when it comes to paying, right? So they're going to pay what they got to pay first. And you can't blame them because you would do the same thing, be honest with yourself, you know. But you got to think about that as a business owner, you know. Yeah, people pitch that all the time to you, especially if you're starting out, oh, you're going to make millions, or you're going to have 6 figures, or you're going to do this, you're going to do that. That may be true, but it's a lot of factors that go into that. And it can happen. We are living witnesses that it can happen. We live that life that you can make that money, but it takes a lot of passion to get there. It takes a lot of patience to get there. Right. Because like I said, you ain't gonna make bank every day. You ain't gonna make bank every week. And even if you do it consistently for a while, it may taper off. You don't know what can happen. Anything can happen. So that's why you put your passion before payments. Because if you put your passion before payments, you can continuously create products to solve a problem with more solutions. And then you won't have to ever worry about getting paid again.
That's it.
So anyway, I'm gonna leave y'all with that. Next week we'll be talking about now that you got the attention, what you got to do, and we'll talk about setting up a funnel and setting up automations. Now, of course, this is something that will cost money. This is something that you would invest into on your own. You know what I mean? And like I said, you know, we're gonna give you the steps on how to do so. It won't be that this is something that you can freely dive into right now, right? But we're going to show you how we use our systems to be able to, you know, automate our services, automate our funnels so that you can get people in your sleep. So
right. And I'm pretty sure for a fact it'll help you guys out as well.
Right.
And it's needed, you know, especially with myself, you know. And when we talked about the organization, that's important. Right. And it helps structure everything. And then, like I said, it keeps you in contact with your clients because your clients want to know. One thing that can kill a business is lack of communication.
Right.
So
exactly. So other than that, guys, we thank you for chiming in with us on this live. If you need the slides, feel free to hit us up. I'm gonna drop the number in the comments so you can text us. Let us know you need the slides. And like I said, I'll also drop a link to the book, the ebook, Impact to Income. You want to make sure you get that copy of that book because you're gonna need it in order to be able to structure your products. And like I said, everything in there I'm telling you to do is free. So there ain't no excuses no more. Now you gotta free up some time. Take an hour, get this done. All right. And so, like I said, if you need the slides, if you need anything, let me know. I'm here for you guys. And again, thank you for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you guys on the next session. All right. Peace out.
Oh, yeah. Peace.
Oh, goodness.